the spacecraft at this time, but team members are able to track its status, and everything continues to go as planned. The crew is now 3 meters from the space station.
ถ่ายทอดสด
meters chop.
Copy 2 meters.
CHOP stands for the crew hands-off point, now 2 meters from the station, standing by for
1
docking.
meter.
Copy 1 meter. Soft capture confirmed.
ถ่ายทอดสดการเชื่อมต่อยาน SpaceX
And we have confirmation that the Axiom2 crew has docked to the International Space Station at
retracting in
8:12
progress.
a.m. Central Time.
Axiom2 ยาน Axiom
That
2
soft-capture ring now beginning to retract and pull Dragon in toward the International Space Station. Docking coming as the space station itself was flying 262 statute miles northeast of Japan.
And correction on last, we're still waiting on attenuation.
ตอนนี้สถานีอวกาศอยู่เหนือประเทศญี่ปุ่น
Continuing to get good reports here from teams on the ground. Again, aboard the International Space Station, NASA's Woody Hoberg and UAE's Sultan Al Nayati continued to monitor the crew as well. After soft capture is complete, those 12 hooks will begin to drive and pull Dragon firmly securing it to the Node 2 Zenith port.
And Dragon, now we have ring retraction in progress.
Dragon copy. That's the softest docking I've ever had.
ตอนนี้ยานครูดากอนกำลัง
Good
จะ
words from
เชื่อม
Commander
ต่อ
of the
กับ
Ax-2
สถานี
Mission,
อว
former
กาศ
NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson, now flying her third spacecraft after having flown the Space Shuttle, a Roscosmos-Soyuz, and now a SpaceX Dragon. That soft capture ring continues to retract. Again, this is the first stage in docking. Shortly after ring retraction is complete, we will move into the hard docking portion. This is when those 12 hooks, 2 sets of 6, drive and firmly secure the spacecraft to the Node 2 Zenith port. Again, just a few weeks ago, the Node 2 Zenith port was occupied by another SpaceX Dragon. Dragon was relocated by the Crew 6 crew who arrived on that spacecraft from the forward port, or from the Zenith port where Dragon Freedom now is, to the forward port. Again, we expect the Axiom2 crew to live and work aboard the International Space Station for about 8 days before beginning their return journey to Earth.
ทำงานอยู่บนสถานี8 วัน Axiom2 crew ลูกยานลูกเรือยาน Axiom2 รอยานเชื่อมต่อกัน
Ring retraction complete. Docking sequence is holding for MCS reconfiguration.
ยานเชื่อม
We have
ต่อกันเรียบ
confirmation
ร้อย
that the ring retraction is complete. Next steps for this hard capture will be for those 12 hooks to drive.
มีขอเกี่ยว12อัน
In addition to the ring retraction and these hooks driving, an umbilical will also be connected from Dragon to the International Space Station. This will allow power to flow from the space station to Dragon itself so that Dragon is no longer relying on battery power, that power being gathered from the solar cells around the base of its trunk.
จะใช้พลังงานจากโซลาร์เซลล์
Again, we are in a handover of our satellites for KU, which is what brings down our video. We do have audio communication with the crew through our S-band.
MCS configured, proceeding with hook driving.
Again, this is 12 hooks, 2 sets of 6. They will drive the first 6, and those are firmly latched. They will then drive the next 6. We do see those first 6 hooks now starting to drive.
รอยานมันเชื่อมต่อกับสถานีอวกาศ
The first 6 hooks continue to drive in the hard capture process. Again, after these, we'll have another set of 6 before we can officially declare that Dragon is firmly secured to the International Space Station. Everything continuing to go as planned this morning. Again, docking coming at 8:12 a.m. Central Time.
มันต้องเอาขอเกี่ยวฮุก
We have confirmation that the first set of 6 hooks
12
have
ตัว
now closed and the second set are driving.
Crew Dragon SpaceX
Dragon Station hard capture complete.
การเชื่อมต่อสำเร็จ
I can copy.
And with that call, hard capture is complete. Dragon is firmly attached to the International Space Station. It's home for at least the next 8 days.
การเชื่อมต่อเสร็จสมบูรณ์
NASA astronaut Woody Hoberg on the space station side will now move into preparing the hatches for opening. Again, that takes about a 2-hour process. The vestibule needs to be pressurized, the area in between the space station and Dragon. Coming up, the Ax-2 crew will have the chance to doff or take off their spacesuits, maybe get into their flight suits before they float aboard, and we begin our welcome ceremony.
นักบินอวกาศกำลังไปเปิดฝายานเรียกว่าอะไรประตูเชื่อมต่อสถานีอวกาศ
And Dragon SpaceX docking sequence complete. Crew Dragon Freedom, Peggy, John, Ali, Ray, congrats on this historic achievement. Welcome to the International Space Station.
Thanks. We really appreciated flying with SpaceX. It was a lovely ride, and as I mentioned, it was the softest docking I've ever felt. Very well done. Thanks to everyone for getting us this far.
Thanks, Peggy. We do aim for excellence, and on behalf of SpaceX, it's been a pleasure working with you. And just a little bit of trivia for you, this was the fastest launched dock time for a Crew Dragon, beating our previous record from Crew 4 by just 9 minutes. Ground will be enabling hardline power and comm connection shortly, and you are good to doff suits per procedure 4.012.
ใช้เวลาแค่ 9 นาทีในการเชื่อมต่อ ถือว่าเป็นเวลาที่เร็วมาก
4012 inward.
Dragon on Dragon aground, no response required. Cameras are external.
Now that all the hooks have driven and the soft capture ring has been stowed, docking is officially complete. The crew is go to doff their suits. That's why the teams on the ground have told them that the cameras are not live at this time inside the cabin. Again, we still do not have video from the International Space Station at this time. It looks like we'll regain shortly. The space station itself is in an orbital nighttime, now flying 261 statute miles over the Pacific Ocean. Again, docking this morning at 8:12 a.m. Central Time. As noted by SpaceX, the fastest docking on record for a crew launch to the International Space Station on Dragon.
การเชื่อมต่อที่เร็วที่สุดสำหรับ SpaceX เชื่อมต่อ Crew Dragon กับสถานีอวกาศนานาชาติวันนี้ Crew Dragon เชื่อมกับสถานีอวกาศเรียบร้อย
We also have confirmation that the umbilicals have attached from Dragon to the International Space Station. Again, these allow power to flow from the space station to Dragon, as well as data and other telemetry. When in free flight, Dragon uses power gained from its solar arrays and is stored and used from batteries aboard the spacecraft, so connecting to these umbilicals allows it to rely on power generated from the space station.
พอเชื่อมต่อกันแล้วยานCrew Dragon จะใช้ไฟฟ้าพลังงานไฟฟ้าร่วมกับสถานีอวกาศแต่ถ้ายังไม่ได้เชื่อม
We'll stay live now that we have docked until our welcome ceremony, standing by for the start time for that ceremony.
ถ้ายังไม่ได้เชื่อมต่อไอ้ Crew Dragon จะมี
But this hatch
แผง
open
โซลาร์เซล
process
ล์
takes about 2 hours. A look ahead at the steps that will be happening over the next couple of hours. Again, Woody Hoberg, NASA astronaut on the space station, is prime for these operations and bringing the Ax-2 crew on board. Now that we're docked, he is securing some hardware, and then we'll move into hatch operations. First, he will open the large hatch at Node 2 Zenith. That'll give him access inside the pressurized mating adapter. He will then help pressurize the vestibule. That's, again, the small space between the hatches on Dragon and the space station. Of course, this was previously exposed to a vacuum prior to docking. We need to fill it with air, make sure its pressure is nearly equal with the atmospheric pressures on Dragon and the station.
Tom check on cabin mic.
And Dragon SpaceX, I had you 5x5 on the cabin mic, but I am seeing that you have both ground and ISS set to PTT. Please set it to only the big loop.
Okay, on the big loop, cabin mic set from Dragon.
And I have you 5x5. How me?
5x5, thanks.
Station on 2 for PMA3 ingress part step 1. Houston is with you on 2. All right, just looking for your go in step 1.1. Standby 1, and we are checking on that now. Station copies.